Imagine a world where nothing familiar exists. No cities, no lights, no humans. Only forests that stretch endlessly, volcanoes that rumble in the distance, and skies so wide they never seem to end. Welcome to the Mesozoic era, an ancient time when giants roamed the earth, creatures with thunder in their footsteps, jaws that could crush steel, and feathers that shimmered under the sun. We all know the names: Tyrannosaurus rex, Triceratops, Stegosaurus. But what if I told you those are just the tip of the fossilized iceberg? Today, we journey back in time to uncover the forgotten giants, the dinosaurs that didn't make it into movies or lunchboxes, but whose stories are just as wild, terrifying, and incredible. This is Jurassic Lore, and these are the untold stories of dinosaurs that time almost erased. Let's begin, not with a predator, but with a mystery. Number 1. The bird with scissor hands. Therizinosaurus was an herbivore, but if you saw it, you'd think it came from a nightmare. Imagine a towering, 20-foot-tall creature with a long neck, beaked mouth, and, get this, 3 claws on each hand, each over 3 feet long. These claws weren't for hunting meat. They were for reaching vegetation, stripping leaves, defending against predators, and possibly courtship displays. But here's the twist. For years, scientists only had the claws. They thought Therizinosaurus was a predator, maybe even related to T-Rex. Only later did they find more bones and realize it was one of the strangest plant eaters to ever exist. It looked like a fusion of bird, reptile, and sloth. It broke every rule we thought we knew about dinosaurs. Number 2. The Hunchback carnivore. Concavenator. Now picture this: a medium-sized carnivore, fast, agile, and sharp-toothed. But along its back, a strange hump-like sail. Meet Concavenator, found in Spain. What was the hump for? Scientists still argue about it. Was it for storing fat, like a camel? A thermal regulator? Or maybe a display structure, like a billboard saying, "Back off. I'm built different." But it gets weirder. Concavenator had bumps on its arms, quill knobs, like birds have, which means it likely had proto-feathers, even though it wasn't closely related to modern birds. A feathered, hunchback predator. How has this creature not made it into a blockbuster movie yet? Number 3. The armored nightmare. Sauropelta. Everyone knows Ankylosaurus, the tank dinosaur. But what about Sauropelta? Its name means shielded lizard, and it wore that title well. Covered in spiked armor from head to tail, this dinosaur didn't need speed or size. It had defense perfected. It wasn't the biggest armored dinosaur, but it had one of the most elaborate defense systems ever found in fossils. In a world where predators ruled, Sauropelta didn't run. It dared you to try. Number 4. The ancient raptor king. Utahraptor. If you thought velociraptors were scary, wait until you meet Utahraptor. This was no turkey-sized predator. Utahraptor was nearly 20 feet long, half a ton in weight, and had 9-inch claws on each foot. It hunted in packs, used advanced ambush techniques, and likely had feathers. Discovered in Utah, of course, it's the largest known member of the raptor family, and possibly one of the most intelligent. This wasn't a dinosaur you'd run from. It was one you'd never see coming. Number 5. The polar dinosaurs. Yes, you heard that right. Dinosaurs didn't just live in tropical swamps. They thrived in cold, dark places, like the ancient Arctic and Antarctic. Paleontologists discovered fossils of hadrosaurs and even small carnivores in what is now Alaska and Australia. How did they survive months of darkness and cold? Some theories say they migrated. Others believe they had warm-blooded metabolisms, more like birds than reptiles. Some may have even had insulation, like primitive feathers. The next time someone says dinosaurs couldn't survive the cold, tell them about the polar dinosaurs that walked through snow. Number 6. The chicken-sized killer, Compsognathus. Small, fast, deadly. Compsognathus was about the size of a chicken, but don't laugh. It was agile, precise, and likely hunted in swarms. Their speed made them effective scavengers and pack hunters. In groups, they could bring down prey 10 times their size. You wouldn't fear one, but 20? Yeah, run. Number 7. The duck-billed sound machine, Parasaurolophus. It looks odd, like it has a giant tube on its head. But Parasaurolophus wasn't just showing off. That crest? It was a built-in resonating chamber. This dino used its head to make sounds, deep, echoing bellows that could travel for miles. It may have used those calls to communicate across forests, warn others of danger, or even find a mate. Think of it as the prehistoric version of Wi-Fi, but way louder. Number 8. The giant that predates T-Rex, Giganotosaurus. Before T-Rex took the crown, there was Giganotosaurus. Found in South America, it was even longer than the T-Rex, up to 43 feet. It hunted massive sauropods with serrated teeth and jaws built for slicing. It wasn't as stocky or bite-heavy as T-Rex, but it didn't need to be. It relied on teamwork, strategy, and speed. A killing machine from a different continent, and possibly the true king of carnivores. Number 9. The giant that lived in the sky, Quetzalcoatlus. Not technically a dinosaur, but close. Quetzalcoatlus was a flying reptile from the pterosaur family. With a wingspan of nearly 40 feet, it was the size of a small plane. But it didn't live in the ocean or perch on cliffs. It walked across dry plains on all fours, like a giraffe with wings. It may have hunted baby dinosaurs or scavenged corpses. The terrifying part? It could launch into flight using all 4 limbs and soar for hours. A predator from the sky that could shadow the sun. Number 10. The dinosaur that looked like a crocodile, Baryonyx. Fishing in the riverbank wasn't safe. Not with Baryonyx around. This dino had a long crocodile-like snout, conical teeth, and huge claws for grabbing slippery prey. It lived in what is now Europe and likely ate fish, turtles, and even other dinosaurs. It was one of the first theropods discovered with fish scales inside its stomach, solid proof of its seafood diet. A dinosaur that swam and hunted like a crocodile? Yeah, they were more versatile than we ever imagined. Number 11. The death lizard of Egypt, Spinosaurus. You want scary? This is it. Spinosaurus was longer than T-Rex. It had a crocodile skull, webbed feet, and a sail on its back. It's the only known dinosaur adapted to live in water. New fossils suggest it swam through rivers, dove beneath the surface, and chased prey like a prehistoric crocodile on turbo mode. It could have been the apex predator of its time. If Jurassic Park ever made it accurate, Spinosaurus would have been the final boss. Number 12. The fastest dinosaur, Ornithomimus. Looking like an ostrich with a bad attitude, Ornithomimus was built for speed. Lightweight, long-legged, and feathered, it may have clocked over 40 miles per hour. Its brain suggests it was intelligent too, possibly using its speed not just to escape, but to outmaneuver. If raptors were the stealth assassins, Ornithomimus was the Formula One driver of the Cretaceous. Final thoughts. The ones that time almost erased, we tend to remember the dinosaurs we see in movies. The big, the loud, the famous. But paleontology is a growing puzzle. New pieces discovered every year. And each forgotten giant tells us more about evolution, survival, ecosystems, and how little we still know. The Earth has kept these stories buried for millions of years. But now, piece by piece, we're digging them back up. Because dinosaurs weren't just ancient monsters. They were real. They were diverse. They were magnificent. And they deserve to be remembered. This is Jurassic Lore, where the bones speak, the myths crumble, and the ancient world comes back to life. Don't forget to subscribe for more true stories from a time when giants ruled the earth.